Hey Eric, how are you doing?
Good, good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good too. Quite busy. January was a very busy month, and now it's starting February. A lot of work gets planned, and I still have a lot of other assignments I have to do. So I saw that November was crazy month, but right now it's even crazier. I don't know
That's good.
I don't know what contributes to this kind of load itself. So I'm constantly in load in a loop.
Are you doing a lot of performance, like M2 performance work, or?
Different M2, M1, so both of them. And just recently, actually, it was interesting. Last show we were discussing about the musty alert navigation. You remember the issue we were talking about?
Yeah. There was a couple tweets that was fixed.
Yeah, we would definitely need to take a look at it and review it. But I just got one of Magento 1 customers, and I was just viewing, their performance reports, and apparently they also have a musty shop by extension, but on Magento 1. And on Magento 1, the story is the same. So I don't know. I remember, like, on Twitter we had some discussion, and some people was talking about, like, hey, a musty, they didn't have problem with performance in Magento 1. But apparently this is not something that is true, because the issue is there.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so I didn't validate that claim at the time when someone wrote it, but yeah, probably no one were taking a look at the query that was executed, and let's say on taking a look at the real database size of that one, because that customer, like, has only 3 filters in alert navigation, and the performance is terrible. So
well, there was a tweet. I think it was Simon Sprankle. I'm sorry, I murder everybody's last names and first names too sometimes for international people. I'm so sorry. He tweeted that Amnesty did do some rewrites in Shopify for their M2 extension. So we already had a customer this week, but next week we could take a look at that and see, find someone who has it here, get it updated, and take another look at it and confirm. Because that's really awesome if extension vendors are listening to the show and improving performance.
Have you seen this feed yesterday of Vinay and Shopware?
Yeah, I saw that video and I saw his follow-up tweet. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the thing that I hear, like, this video doesn't mean that he abandons Magento or anything. He works with both platforms.
Yeah,
and that's kind of interesting how the message gets framed by a competing platform, right? Because they're not telling, like, like, yeah, he just works everywhere. They just put it in light like he is exclusively now works with Shopware.
Yeah, he could have been standing there for 15 minutes talking, and they cut it down to like 30 seconds of him just talking about leaving Magento, and that's what they put up.
But in general, what Vinay is doing, he just learns a new platform, right? So it's okay to learn a new platform and to do something with it. Like, it doesn't mean, like, if I, let's say, go and learn Rust, it doesn't mean I abandon PHP.
Right.
It just means I improve a number of tools I can use for doing something as well. Learning another platform also gives you an opportunity to rethink some things that you've got used to.
He's still working on mage2.tv, and we're talking to him about sponsoring that. He's, as far as I know, he's going to keep doing episodes and keep doing training, and that's great. More content out there, we love it. So yeah, it seems fine and beneficial to everyone. So
yeah, so it's kind of weird that people just assumed he leaves Magento. So this is not true.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now Shall we record an intro?
Yeah, we probably should do an intro.
Yeah.
This is Load in the Loop. We're sponsored by Blackfire.io. I'm Eric Hileman, CEO and co-founder of Mage Mojo Magenta Hosting out of New York City. The purpose of this program is to take some of what we've learned from over 10 years of Magenta-specific hosting and evaluate one of our customers' stores. We'll share with you what we find in hopes that it may improve your Magento skills and the performance of your Magento stores. Along with me on this trip is my co-host, Ivan.
Hello, my name is Ivan. I'm one of performance experts in Magento area, and not only in Magento area. Also, I can profile any PHP application or any other applications that supports to add some hooks for profiling. So
it's not just limited to Magento.
Yeah. So feel free to contact me. Wink, wink. Okay, so Eric, tell us a little bit about the customer.
Yeah, so Black Swallow. I know of Black Swallow, although I was not aware of the images on the homepage. They are quite nice. Interesting story behind Black Swallow. So you can see in the navigation they have the Jeffree Star Cosmetics link. So
okay.
Black Swallow, we got an alert that they were receiving a lot of traffic a little while back, and we were like, wow, what's going on? And we saw Stratus scaling out to handle it, which it did. It handled it well. And we followed up with the site owners, and we asked them, hey, do you have any promotions or sales or launches or anything that's going on? And they said no. And so we started looking into the logs to find the traffic, and it turns out that was the big launch, the Jeffree Star Cosmetics, the collaboration on that dropped on Shopify and took Shopify down. And when that happened, there was a lot of overflow coming onto Black Swallow on Stratus to buy that Jeffree Star cosmetic collaboration. So,
that's quite cool, actually. And comparing to Shopify, people were actually able to buy it because Stratus actually was scaling, right?
It did. It horizontally auto-scaled out and held up without any issues. Now, granted, we're not receiving the same amount of traffic Shopify was for sure, but it was pretty cool that it was there and it worked and held up, and they got a lot of sales out of it just out of the blue.
Yeah, it's probably just tells a story like if you plan to launch your own product line, just make sure that you diversify the selling platforms, right? So just make sure that you don't make it vendor locked and you sell in multiple areas. It's about manufacturers, but probably if we talk about retailers cannot do it, unfortunately. Right. So let's start with a review. So let's go to the homepage and let's start Blackfire profiling. Let's disable aggregation and debugging mode, probably not. Okay, so let's just start profiling. Let's see what we're gonna see as a result. And right now I see it's quite fast, so not too much time to wait. And the only thing, it takes some time to load the data itself, so... No, Windows, don't restart, please!
The viewers can't see that, can they?
Yeah, the viewers can see it, but...
It's the Windows restart message popping up on him.
Right now, I boot into Windows only when I need to use Photoshop products or when we actually record our show. So right now, I'm full-time working on Ubuntu, and I really enjoy it so far. Actually, recently, I compiled the 5.3 version of the kernel to the architecture of my processor, and I removed a bunch of redundant stuff from kernel itself during compilation time. So it felt really good. It's a little bit of quirky to actually add some architecture to the kernel, because by default kernel only compiles into standard x86 architecture set, but you can actually create a patch for it. So there's patches available online that you can apply on top of the standard kernel source code base, and it automatically adds for every single variation of the architecture out there. So I was able to compile directly to Zen 2. Zen 2, it's the architecture of AMD for the recent processors, the ones that actually I currently have. And yeah, it's a couple of % of improvement in kernel workload, but it's already quite good, especially if we consider, you know, like system calls, because a lot of system calls are done by kernel, not by application itself. Apart from that, I also plan to compile some other applications with direct architecture selection for the processor, so it's going to be interesting to see. But so far I didn't have free time for doing it. Okay, so now we have some results here. So it's almost 1 second on the homepage, and I see there's quite a lot of database queries. So this is already a sign that there is something going on there.
I'm told there's Amnesty shot by on this site as well.
Okay, right off the bat, probably. Oh, it's Magento Commerce. So this is what it is.
Enterprise.
Yeah, so we have 61 database queries to sales to catalog category flat store 1. So it tells me that somewhere in a code base, something is gonna load category in a loop. So this is definitely a problematic part of the system. So, and as a result, because every single category is loaded separately, the catalog events are also loaded as an afterload event of the category, as you see here directly. So there is the same number of queries for both of those parts, right? They have like 18 CMS blocks shown on the homepage. And this means like there is some room for improvement. It's unfortunately an issue with Magento itself, because Magento doesn't, when Magento renders the CMS block as a block on a page, it doesn't collect all the block identifiers prior to rendering. It just renders as it hits it. So it's possible, and I did it before, to collect every single CMS block being shown on the page, all the identifiers, to collect them, and then just execute a single query instead of, you know, doing 18 queries. So this is kind of another performance hit we see right here. And then again, another CMS block gets loaded. So this one is loaded with the store filter, and there's another CMS block gets loaded separately again. Oh yeah, so here we are. So there is somewhere a collection usage for loading a CMS block for one means, and then there is another 13 blocks loaded. So quite a performance hit. So I think there is at least like 50 database queries that can be reduced to 2. So some optimization possibilities over there. Probably not a simple one, like it's not something like turn on the switch and everything works fine, but it's something where you can go on and do some optimizations to save some TTFB calls. And yeah, the rest of the things are quite standard. With the standard Magento issue with directory currency rate, it is actually quite common in Magento. Like for every single currency, Magento does a database query. However, it's strange that they need this currency rate here, because I don't see here. Oh yeah, now I see it here.
There's the switcher. Yeah.
Yeah, so for every single currency that they use, Magento loads every currency separately to extract the conversion rate for it. And that one can easily be optimized by just, you know, creating a condition on currency from and currency to, and then just filtering it out in PHP on a response. So not a big deal. But this is not something that probably Magento developers, Magento core developers see a lot in their daily work. Oh, this is kind of a weird query. take a look here. This is probably some extension, because I never seen this metadata table. Where it is? Where was it? Here it is. So what is the metadata table itself?
Is this part of Page Builder? First, last.
Oh, it's again Magento Commerce, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's again Magento Commerce functionality. Wait a second, here it is. So it's page title. So this query looks a little bit terrible. So if you take a look here, it runs a subquery, right? As some kind of a column. I don't see where is the boundaries of this one, because looks like it's subquery within a subquery. And it recurses a little bit, yeah. And there's 3 times this one is executed. Probably we see very low time to execute this query, because most probably the data is empty. But as soon as you have a reasonable amount of data in this table, it's gonna be a performance hit. So far it doesn't make sense to take a look at it, but as soon as they're gonna add some hierarchical structure over there, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, here all the rest of the things are not that concerning. So main issue is the menu, probably, because I expect somewhere there is a category gets loaded in the menu or something like that, maybe to output some additional attribute or whatever, you know. Probably something like this, you know, these small blocks. Maybe those ones are over there.
Overall, pretty good, though.
So let's take a look at the... Sorry?
Overall, pretty good, though, right? The page, the home page itself, it's pretty fast.
I would say 400 milliseconds. It's pretty good, but this is at least double the 400 milliseconds. So if it would be around 400 milliseconds to render this page, because there is nothing special going on the page, just some static blocks and so on. But because of probably the menu, it adds another 400 milliseconds to the load time. So let's take a look at the timeline view, shall we?
Yep.
Oh, it's a little bit hard to click. So here we are, and my suspicion was right, I think, because we see HTML header, and here we see sections, and here we see top menu. You see it here?
Yep.
And here we are, mega menu from SmartWave. So yeah, this is a problem. And the interesting thing that this one actually happens on every single page. So if we take a look at the page structure, probably they use the standard Magento functionality where the menu gets loaded through ESI include in Varnish. So when it gets loaded through ESI include in Varnish, it means that Magento still renders it internally, even if the menu is not shown, but ESI include tag is generated. The good news, I'm working on an extension for it to make it
another
possible
one in the stash.
Yeah, and I actually already wrote it for one of the projects, but I didn't have the chance to properly test it, so we still didn't release it yet. But in general, the basic idea is just remove the rendering process of the blocks that are offloaded to ESI, because it doesn't make sense to render this data on a page that is actually not depending on this data, right? Like, for instance, the menu. No one depends on the menu on a home page except the menu block. And footer looks very simple as well, so I don't see anything weird there. Oh, so the episode of Load in a Loop just went out. I received a notification.
Oh, good.
So it's funny. Okay, so let's see. SmartWave mega menu. Let's take a look at the SmartWave mega menu. Okay, this is concerning. Apparently someone didn't prohibit viewing mega menu directory. And you know, the problem is that it's very poor optimization job for search engines if the first results doesn't show your extension, right?
Yeah, that's strange.
So it's port to Zim.
Is SmartWave? I thought SmartWave was a company. Are they like under the Porto e-commerce brand?
And I don't see any mention anywhere, so let's see. SmartWave. So it's Porto now, apparently.
Oh. Okay, so that's the company name, but so they must have been SmartWave, but they changed their name, I guess.
It looks quite interesting what's happening there, because yeah, I just don't see. Yeah, it looks strange. Sorry.
I mean, I've heard of SmartWave before, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, the problem, it takes the major chunk of the load time. So here it is. So it just renders the menu here and header block. Another thing actually that they have as well, what I see here, you see the metric here on the left side called composer autoload.find file.
Yep.
So this is something that they can fix right away and run a composer autoload optimization after they compiled DI configuration. So as soon as you compile DI configuration, only after that you need to dump an optimization of composer autoloader. Because if you do it before, it means the files that are generated by setup DI compile won't appear in fast autoloader, and Magento will hit file system when it will try to find those classes. And in this case, probably that one is not enabled. But also it could be that they don't have a composer autoload optimization at all, because it's like almost 1800 calls. Another one interesting metric you see here as well. It saves cache block to cache 96 times, so weird. 70 times collection gets loaded. Yeah, quite interesting panel. I've never dived too much deep in it, but here they added some nice functionalities here. Blackfire, so big shout out to them for this one. Here you see actually our model load in the loops as well, right? You see 83%, and here we can see it right away here. This get submenu items and so on. So the issue is definitely somewhere in the extension itself, because I don't see any templates or anything pointing to the actual load in a loop. So I suspect this get submenu items or get mega menu HTML method is doing some load in a loop, because here where you get all the categories you need, right, in this area, and then it just does another load and another load and another load, and there is a lot of loads happening. So that's where it's slow. So it makes sense to fix this extension, or as an alternative solution, fix ESI include in Magento core that renders the menu even through its ESI included anyway. So this one probably is gonna be a quicker fix. So let's take a look at category page, right? So let's take a look at Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Kind of interesting to see the performance of this page, but it doesn't have a lot of products, right? It has only 72 products on the page, but probably it's gonna show us at least some indication how this is going on with the category page. And we see that there is a little bit of slow response, definitely a couple of seconds, but not 7 and not 6, so definitely less than that. And I see that number of filters is very small as well. Like they have only 3 filters on this page. Okay, so quite a lot. Almost 4 seconds to render a category page. So 728 database queries. Let's take a look at them. So again, the menu hits us here. So you see here we have the same catalog event queries, and we have the same category flat store queries when categories get loaded separately, one by one.
I thought it is recommended now to not use flat categories, that it actually hurts performance.
Products, yes. Categories is still a good option.
Oh, okay, just flat products.
So
okay.
Okay, so here we have this one as a problem, but then we also have the standard problem with Magento pricing, as I see. So you see here you have quite a lot of load in the loops within Magento to retrieve product prices and stock status as well. Actually, that's also an interesting for configurable product. Oh yeah, so it loads all the configurable products in a loop, and yeah, so that's a standard thing, and it's probably to render this available colors.
Swatches.
However, this one actually weird. You know why? Because you already have the same product basically shown 3 times, just in different styles, but each of this product is actually a configurable one with only one option available.
Yeah, it's the same product, just listed multiple times.
So question
that is strange.
Yeah, here I see it's cool, it's nice. Like you have different different styles available, right? So you can choose a color, right? This is clear, but this is a little bit of a performance bottleneck, as I see, because when you just create a configurable product for a product that is already one variation only, right? So basically it should have been only a simple product itself. Or you could have created just a color swatched one product. So yeah, this one is even more interesting because you see here you have a set of shades, right? You have palette, but it still forced a color on a palette. I think they need a little bit to change their product structure because I think it's even not as good for the end user when you have all the time to select a size and a color if you want to add it to the cart, right? But in general, I can tell for sure that they can benefit a lot from the same kind of optimization I've did for one of my customers. And I think we will talk about them on the last show, right?
A little bit, yeah.
So here on a category page, you can also add a product to the shopping cart, and you can select everything. The only thing that I completely abandoned the standard way how those drop downs are being created. So I've created a separate backend functionality that loads all the data for all the configurable products with a couple of queries instead of it doing for every product, because in standard Magento, we can see it, by the way, here in the details. You can see that every single product gets loaded separately. You see from a flat. Actually, this is not every single product. This is actually probably list of simple products of configurable. Because you see there is an entity ID in, and there is also a count happening as well of the products by superlink. So there's a lot of just redundant queries happening on the product data that shouldn't be here. So here it's basically the same functionality. Like you have a size drop down available with all the available products that you can directly add from a category page to the shopping cart. So you even don't need, you have to select size and then you just add to the cart and it's in the cart and it's all set. But here you don't even have a button to add to cart. So this functionality just created to, see a different picture. But in the end, it doesn't give any, return on investment for the end customer to have this functionality on the category page. Apart probably from here, but here even, you see I choose a different color, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't change anything. Like,
no.
It doesn't change a color of the product. So I think it makes sense to take a look at the product catalog management here and see why it's happening like that. Maybe they have some kind of ERP system or something, and they just automatically create configurable products based on simple products. But then it means like they need just to adjust or add some flag in their ERP or PIM integration that will mark some products as available only in one variation and just sell them as simple products, because this one bad for performance and also confusing because you can't see everything. Okay, so let's go into product page and let's profile it.
Baby pink.
So let's hope we don't
That color is
Sorry?
called baby pink.
Wow, that's nice.
What's your favorite color?
Is it some? It's hard to choose. Mostly green and blue. So
not
let's
baby
see.
pink.
This is not baby pink, but I think there is a little bit of a difference in color of the picture of the product and the actual color selected here.
There is. I'm red green color deficient, and I can even see it. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Maybe it's related to the color profiles of the picture, so it might be saved in a different color profile, or maybe like picture gets uploaded into the admin panel with Adobe RGB format, but when PHP resizes a picture, it doesn't know about the color profile of the original image, so your image information of the colors gets lost.
Well, that's interesting. I never thought of that.
Plenty of customers I was working with all the time was complaining, hey, the picture looks different online comparing to what you do. And after educating them that you need to export in srgb format your pictures all the time, otherwise the colors will differ, because you cannot trust the server-side hardware to properly transform the color spaces comparing to your Adobe Photoshop or where you post-process your product pictures, because that one has much more better information about the color profile to apply for the web.
That's a really interesting topic, man. We should tweet that out, because I've never thought of that, but it's really important to make sure your swatches match your pictures, and your pictures match what you think they're supposed to look like. That's really interesting. So how do you solve that? Like how do you, when PHP resizes it, I don't know. You tell me what's the solution there? Like.
Yeah, so the problem is the standard PHP library, even ImageMagick, ignores the embed color profile into the picture. So if, let's say, you have Adobe RGB being embedded into the exported picture, the software, unless you specifically specify that you expect this image format to have this specific color profile, it will still be like that. So the only way to do it is actually upload images only in srgb. It's the only way.
Okay.
And if you take a look, let's see just if they actually have this problem for real or not. So if how actually you can test it. So you see it a picture like that. Oh, actually, I can't select it. Oh, copy image address. So this is a resized image, right? And you can access unresized image by just removing cache from it, right? Here it seems like the colors are the same, so this is not the issue here. So let's where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. So okay, the quality is a little bit loose on a picture that is resized but actually not resized. This is, by the way, another thing that I also advise usually to merchants is, if you have an image that is not resized at all and no transformations are happening in them, just point to the original image URL. It's possible to do by just customizing the Magento standard image helper, but you see this original image, it is much more better from point of view of viewing it by the end customer, you see, because you can zoom in And here I see visual artifacts, and color is a little bit different, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this one looks more like baby pink. I don't know if you see it in a screen share, but when I click it, I see here it's much more vivid pink, and here it gets a little bit grayish.
I see it a little bit, but my eyes can't discern that much.
Yeah, there is actually a difference in color a little bit. So definitely a color profile curve a little bit adjusted. Why I know a lot about color profiles? Because I was writing my own color, my own image resizer in pure PHP. And
another one in the stash.
I was, yeah, and I was actually learning a lot about color management and different color profiles, how to adjust gamma of the images. I was reading a lot about Larco's algorithm to resize image metrics and other stuff related also to machine learning. Actually, learning a lot about colors from that area as well, because when you build a convolutional neural network, you need to find the most edgy image that would be recognized better by your model in machine learning. So
we could turn this into a drinking game.
A lot of
every time Ivan says he's been working on this extension he has in the stash, we take a shot. So how do you?
But it's not about extension, you know. It just the technology itself, because it's quite fascinating how much different color profiles you have out there.
It is. And I even have a calibrator for my. A little calibration device to calibrate my stuff to try to make it accurate. And so, what do you think happened here with the swatch? You think they just picked the wrong color when they entered it in, or how does?
Yeah, let me just open it up. So let me open the page. So in general, I think it looks like product that is created automatically, you know. So when you have a system with let's just to confirm my suspicion, I can just hit profile or request, and we will see what kind of product gets triggered when I add the product to cart, right? Anyway, we need to profile add to cart, right? Okay, stop, and let's see this one. Oh, it takes some time. Okay. Okay, add to cart. So seems there's a lot of stuff happening. Okay. Let's see, does it load the data from configurable product? I'll just quickly search for it. Yeah. So this is definitely a configurable product with 2 attributes. And I can see it from the database queries, so that's what happens there. Add to cart doesn't show us a lot of issues, but it's because they have, in this case, they have a product with only one available option as a simple product. So sure, it will be not much of an issue from the performance. Let's say if we go and visit, let's say, product with a lot of colors.
That mirror has a front side. Maybe the pink on the front side is lighter.
Could be, but as I saw, it was kind of a one piece, right? So let's see also this one. Let's start to record all the HTTP requests, and let's add to cart. It's kind of very nice touch that they, instead of cart, they mention bag here. I think it's very fitting their product purchase, because, you know, like, they sell cosmetics and swimwear. And this is very typical to put your products in the bag. You know, like in nice designer bag or whatever.
Yeah, beach bag, man.
Or a beach bag, yeah. So let's see the timeline. Okay. Oh yeah, so we have a little bit more database queries this time. So this time we have like 8 products being loaded. Yeah, categories of 8 products being loaded. So there is a little bit more queries, I think, than the previous time. Yeah, so the first add to cart was 114, and the second one is 145. So the more products you have in Configurable, the more database queries you have on add to cart. But in general, this is not very terrible performance, but if they would have a bigger catalog of products, it would hit harder, you know, in future. And considering that they arrange all the products as configurable products, it can be a problem in the future because every single configurable product executes a set of separate queries, so they desperately need an optimization of this small block. Either change one color, one size. Yeah, one size even doesn't make any sense, you know, because this is even confusing for me as a buyer, because if I go and I see a lip liner, does it have different sizes?
Yeah. Oh, so like the lip liner, I see why they're putting a color there, so you can tell what color lip liner it is.
Yeah, but they're not putting it because
single. Yeah.
They could output, if let's say simple product, if it has a color, they can output this color over here, right?
Yeah.
It's in customization, changing the template, but they're using color swatches just to show a color. And another thing that they use, they create a separate one size attribute for products that don't need to have it. So in Magento, you can choose per different product attribute sets. You can choose different configurable product attributes as well. So I think there is some kind of automated process that really messed up the product structure itself.
Yeah, probably something automated, a feed. Have you ever seen anybody wearing that white lipstick? Have you ever seen anybody wearing that one? That's wild.
Maybe I should consider it to wear it myself, you know?
Yeah.
To the next Magento Imagine, you know?
Yeah. They sell orange? You could wear orange.
and no, I mean, like, for purpose of actually making all the face pale to represent scare of performance issues.
Oh,
you know?
We're the ghost of performance. Ghost of performance present.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at another category page. Just for example, just take a look, for instance, at shampoos. Yeah, this one completely redundant, right? Because purple. Do you really wanna?
Number yellow.
Yeah, like I don't understand why purple is here at all, because.
But it says number yellow, or no yellow. No yellow shampoo.
Yeah.
No yellow? This is a whole world I don't know anything about. I've never been worried about.
Actually, maybe they use some kind of machine learning algorithm or whatever, you know, to
I don't
generates
know.
this stuff that probably takes a look at the picture, you know, and decides which one to use. But yeah, here it's purple, but why then here it is not green, right?
I don't know. Like that bottle says no yellow and it says purple. I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah, so in general, I think they can win a lot by actually selling directly simple products. Because first of all, because it's a configurable product, you cannot right away add it to the shopping cart. You have to go to the product page, click on a product, and only then you can add it to the cart. But what I see on a product page, there is no more information than on a category page, right? By default, it's all collapsed. So you don't have product details until you click on it. So it doesn't make sense to sell a configurable product when you could just sell this simple product itself. So, and basically, from point of view of database size, it means like they have double the size of the products for positions that are just regular simple products, because they have to create a configurable product and they have to create a simple product as well for that case. However, the good news with some developer who can just create database queries and find those kind of products that have only one simple product associated to it, they can easily change the product type of configurable and copy over information that is missing in configurable to make it a single simple product, and then remove the simple product that was there. It will probably bring a lot more conversion to them, because I can imagine people don't like to click through the whole store to finally add it to the shopping cart. So, a shot of palettes. This one too, like, it just confuses, right? You see Sinopia as a color, but it's actually a palette of colors, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe the buyer here is conscious about what color the case is, and that's the color of the case. I'm not the demographic here, so I don't really know.
Also, it could be, maybe you're right, maybe it could be a color set name, you know? Sometimes like you have a palette of colors, and this palette of colors is called Sinopia.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
because
it
I
is
see
on
it
the case.
on the box.
Yeah.
But here, for instance, it's white, but there is no white, right?
Yeah.
Or for instance, blue blood, yeah, it's reasonable. But here, Northern Lights, why it's so bright green when there is nothing like that. So I'd really suggest to review the catalog structure. I think it can solve a lot of issues, especially for products that don't have options, because they have probably very small number of real configurable products that they sell, right? Like this one. Oh no, another Windows update notification.
Restart, that's our hour warning.
Yeah. And yeah, here I even not sure if, yeah, so here is a problem, right?
Those are all included colors in the thing, or oh wait, no, that's confusing.
Concealers.
You get one.
Yeah, so here, like, I'm as a buyer, I want to know what kind of color of the bottle I will receive if I, let's say, choose this C30 as a color option, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see a changing product picture, right?
Yeah.
And having picture like that might result in customer actually expecting that, hey, I'm gonna have all of the colors in one package. And another thing, size guide is completely redundant for cosmetics.
Yeah,
So
true.
it makes sense. Yeah, I don't know what kind of theme or have they custom developed it, but it makes sense to hire some e-commerce consultant in order to adjust the catalog to better sell and present products.
The add to cart. Did you see any issues there?
As I said, like as soon as we have more configurable products per item. Oh, look.
No, just they
Now
do
I
have a
the
single.
right picture.
Yeah.
So this is just crazy. So when I change one, I don't have a change, but when I add to cart, so let's say if I want to add this green one, it's interesting to see what kind of concealer I'm gonna have in my shopping cart. Yeah, look, the right image. So the data is there, but somehow the functionality is not.
Yeah, it's some
and
wins to increase sales conversions.
Yeah, and also improve performance, because as more redundant data you have, the worse it is for the performance of the store. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, so this looks like a bundle product to me, right? This is two products together, but they're sold as a configurable product.
Yeah, it does. What is it? Is it a shampoo and conditioner? Wait, I'm curious now why having no yellow in your shampoo is important. I'm gonna have to Google that because I feel like I'm missing something. Not that I really need to worry about shampoo. Yeah, it looks like it's a 2-step process, maybe.
I don't know. Or maybe it's to remove yellowness of your hair or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. No clue.
Because in English it's called no yellow, but other languages I see it has the prefix anti amarillo, for instance, or anti giallo. So it looks like it's not like no yellow. It means like against or anti yellow.
Stop it. Okay. Don't. Yeah. Prevent it from happening.
Yeah. So it's probably maybe it's something related maybe to coloring your hair or something like that.
Coloring your hair, and then how like maybe chlorine pool water affects your hair somehow. Like it.
Yeah. Maybe
washes out your color, or I don't know.
And here's another thing, like if you accidentally just click on one of the things, you already unselect an option. And this is just worse for conversion, because customers, what kind of a required field? You just want to add to cart. You don't want to click around.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, in general, the website design is very nice. I really like its minimalistic structure. So it's not overloaded with graphic. That really is very nice for mobile devices and so on. Like they have very clear, callouts. Like they have no rounded borders or anything, just colors scheme, and it's plays very well. with the design. I really like this kind of structure. The only problem is the catalog. So I would buy their products if I wouldn't have to click on a color and one size before adding to cart, you know. Like on the product page here it's pre-selected, but I don't want to even go to product page if I want to add this mirror to a shopping cart. I just want to have a button here, add to cart, and that's all. Because I already convinced as a customer, hey, I want to buy this mirror.
In baby pink, because that's your favorite color.
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, look.
And
Did you see it?
no, I missed it. What happened? Oh, whoa.
Color.
Yeah, it looks like it's right, and then it. Oh, wow. What's?
Well, let's add it to the shopping bag.
Whoa. What?
Oh, I think it's loading overlay.
Oh, the overlay darkens it. What's the overlay?
No. I mean the overlay lightens it. Look. Let's turn a super nice feature of Google Chrome. And here we're gonna low-end mobile network to use. We're gonna enable it, so let's see what's gonna happen here. I hope I'm still recording, just in case. Yeah, everything is still recording. So now you will see how it works. Probably I should have just chosen the regular mobile, mid-tier mobile. Yeah, low-end mobile.
Low end's really
It's a nice
low
simulation.
end.
Yeah. Even mid-tier mobile is.
What is the
It
speed
takes
for
quite a lot of time.
mid-tier? Do you know the speeds for these? Oh,
look. You see?
Okay.
It's because this load thing gets overloaded here. But I know why the color is different. Because it's Chrome mirror. So probably the color code is correct. But when you take a product picture, you have reflection and also you have shadows that makes it a different color
shiny.
than actual color code of the metallic paint or whatever is used over there.
Yeah. Yep.
Shall we take a look quickly into the page source just to see if it's full with different inline stuff? And looks like it is. So something. Why do you have sessions storage polyfill? Because it looks like session storage polyfill. Because session storage and local storage is out of the box available in all major browsers already for a long time. I remember the only browser that doesn't support it is Internet Explorer 7 or even 8. 8.
We just released a fix
below,
for that.
And
yeah.
But this one is just redundant piece of code, so it's shown on every single page. So you could save a lot of bandwidth, by removing just the JavaScript. So it looks like a polyfill that can be safely removed.
Cool. Should we wrap it up? I think we're going on an hour.
Yeah, definitely. Just a moment. Yeah, they have also some kind of custom color swatches, because this one doesn't look like standard magenta one. So there is already some kind of custom functionality there. And for each product you see, there is a huge piece of JavaScript. And this one definitely adds on to the page size. Another swatch renderer. And another swatch renderer. So in standard Magento, you usually just have JSON config over there. You don't have the rest of the JavaScripts.
jQuery UI.
Yeah, it looks like that swatch renderer, it's not a standard thing. So let's find what it actually uses. Or maybe it's a standard thing, but I never seen it before. But here I see that there is some kind of swatch renderer UI component. Actually not component, it's IMD module for Require.js. So it's swatch renderer, and it's applied probably as a swatch renderer like that. But it looks very weird. Like, you don't need to have a duplication of the code like that. You can generate all this JavaScript by just using the JSON data you already receive, and you can just create inline JavaScript pieces in a page, and then you can collect through JavaScript, you can collect all those instances of JSON data and create the proper objects on the proper elements in your DOM. So I actually did the same for this one. So if you take a look here, when you take a look at the rendered output, you will see that there is, for instance, a lot of buy button container, and there is a lot of actions happening there, and there is a lot of buy box wrapper, for instance. Here you see product add to cart form and a lot of DOM. But when you actually take a look at the page source, how do I open the page source? Oh yeah, here it is. You will see that the only thing that is getting rendered is this script called buybox with JSON data that contains all the needed information how to render the buybox. And then in the end of the page there is just a piece of JavaScript that have an underscore GS type of JavaScript template, and then it just instantiates this configurable renderer component that collects all the needed JSON buy boxes from the page and attaches them to a product. And this one saves a lot of bandwidth to be sent to the end user, because you don't need to copy paste the same piece of HTML. You just generate it in a user browser. So it's also good for front-end performance and for people who have limited internet connection.
Very cool.
Okay, so that's it. I think we're good with this episode. It was a very interesting case to take a look at, because in general, yes, they have performance issues, but most of the issues are actually Magento core issues. And the general issue that is happening outside of Magento is the top menu, and the rest of the things are just... And the rest of the things are related to configurable products. So...
And Composer autoload.
Yeah, Composer autoload, it's minimal, but it removes, IO operations on PHP file inclusion. So it's just good in case if you have a lot of concurrent connections, not to oversaturate your drives. with reading all the PHP files out there.
Yeah, stop killing our IO.
Yeah, so
well,
this
looks
one
like my
is
camera
important.
battery died. All right, well, let's wrap it up. So we'll link up the show notes, how to contact us. LI Load in the Loop. You can add us on Twitter, and we'll link up our own contact details in the show notes. Anything you want to add for closing remarks before we head out?
I think just use appropriate product types for proper use cases. So if you have some automated process, take an extra step to make sure that you don't have something that will confuse your end users. And then just take extra step and create an exception like simple product.
Yep. Sounds good. That would improve conversion for them. We'll talk to them about that and see. Maybe they have some, I don't know, technical reason for that, but we'll see.
Could
All right.
be.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.